Акентьева, Гаухар Бурибаева, Наталья Акентьева, Ляззат Сатиева, Сауле Жакаева, Кайрат Чигибаев,
So we should start, dear ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to our conference. I would like to congratulate you to our National Currency Day, and our today's sessions is devoted to our financing in the corporate sector. We have in our participant list representative of many banks, leading banks. SMEs are very strong loan taker, and also some regulations from the national banks are also were helping us to develop more loan provision for SMEs. As to our bank RBK, we have 83% of long-term loans, and 17% is just for turnover means which are used in the daily business, and of course it is distributed over the whole countries. And we have a lot of other loans like guarantees or subsidies, and we can also use a lot of different means from our states. That is actually the main from myself. Dear colleagues, I would like to be on the same side like Natalia Evgenievna, because the same drivers you mentioned, I would mention myself. If we compare just with the former year, we had last year a very high interest rate from the National Bank, and with this year we started to lower this national interest rate. And I would like to mention also as well that also the big increase of loaning is that we have SME development, and a lot of loans were given to SMEs. And Madina Yarasilovna also just said that a lot of different regulations were giving to us that we prefer the SME development and SME loaning, and that is the reason why it is SME loaning just boosted. Thank you very much. Thank you. I would like to congratulate all of you as well. And in addition to all of said, I would like to mention from my side that numbers you gave to us, that some interesting facts are found. Actually, it is good that also foreign banks, that 86% increase of China Trade and Commercial Bank. Also, Shinhan Bank increased SME loans. I know that they had to start from scratch, and it is low basis, high percent, and in accordance with this, and in addition to this, I would like to mention that during recent years we have a lot of critical remastering, rearranging of logistics chains, and including we broke a lot of chains. And starting with 2024, we saw that these processes were more or less stabilizing, and a lot of companies just settled down everything, and they know everything about the rules and about the sanctions, about the appetites on the market, and also the knowing their wishes and how to deal with this kind of market, and they are ready to improve the business. And they also include new investment decisions, like to open a new hub or to redomicile the business or to get a start of a new business. And we see a lot of hope on the market that we think that this kind of learning would grow still in this year, and the tendency is actually there that these kind of loans would actually allow us to grow the credit loan giving to our customers. Thank you very much. So why I am there as a representative of our microfinancing corporation, I would be rather over there in another company, but it should be also available to us to say about our strategy as we are becoming a bank. And I think in the coming months we are getting a license and we would be a bank. Actually, we were not are working in a corporate sector because we are working with very small enterprises and very small entrepreneurs, and our strategy is actually focusing on our target group, and this corporate development is not a big deal to us. We would not be working in this regard, and it is still needed to say that according to our observations within a big group, it is a lot of circles of rather small enterprises and small entrepreneurs, and please be aware that you should credit the bigger companies and we should credit the smaller companies. So actually you are still a part of micro systems of our big system. Thank you very much still. Thank you very much for inviting me. I would like to congratulate every one of us, our guys from the panels and also our ladies and gentlemen in the hall. Yes, this is actually our biggest day. Thank you very much. I would like to congratulate as well from my side. If I would answer the questions, we are very good with the situation that our banks are growing. From our side, from a lot of revenues we got from our activities, and some of them are related to the credit giving and loaning process. We hope that actually it is not our field, but I still think that the crediting, the loaning will be growing. So my first question is to Natalia Georgievna. So manufacturing is a very good backbone of our industry, and it is good that your bank shows the positive dynamics in our manufacturing. And this is actually a list of bigger projects I have in my hands. What do you think? It is still possible to give additional money for this kind of project, and what is the challenges in this regard? I would like to start with this explanation. I'm in line with Karata Mangosevic. If we have a lot of bigger companies, it is a lot of opportunities or better climate for smaller companies, and they can do a lot of things with bigger companies. Yes, we have almost 30 to 40% in our portfolio, and 71% it is like investments projects. We create also new job opportunities, and also some other options are there. And but of course every of these projects asks for a lot of money, and we would like to know the systems exactly, but we have a lot of experience, and also we deal with a lot of foreign banks, and how to provide them these connections to our companies. Of course, a lot of capital expenditures are there, and you need to whole for syndicate loans and also for private risk insurance and also export insurance companies and so on. Some kind of chains like this, they are enabling us to credit projects more than 1 billion. And of course, we need to see that we are good in long-term operations, because we need to see that at least interest rate is paid in the first years of our bigger projects. So for a lot of capex, a long-term assignment of loans and not enough collateral on this, and even for bigger companies, even if they do not have a lot of collateral as it is prescribed by the National Bank. And also we have some international international
and especially investment projects, you cannot come out of this project quickly, and never, even if you decide to do that, sometimes you shouldn't even have been entering that project, I think, like this. So generally speaking, this is the indicator for the processing industry. And the role of Gauhar Asylbekovna of EBRK, they are very important, especially if the support is not sufficient, because we need these tools to work. We need, if they are called high liquid instruments, they have to be not only in our understanding, but as well for the international auditors that has been invited and all other potential partners that participating in the project. That is why, generally speaking, these are the problems that we are facing now, and these things and challenges, according to our indicators, we are capable to solve. Thank you, Natalia Evgenievna. Today it has been spoken out about the warranty fund on the basis of DAMU. So this particular direction has to be stimulated by crediting, and according to the concept, they have to be inserted small-scale and large-scale projects in processing industries. Thank you very much for what you said. We would like to discuss additional opportunities for corporate sector, and my question is to Sauli Agaovna. According to the experience of Citibank in the sphere of international loans, what methods for corporate clients are available now, and what is the potential for improving the volume of corporate crediting? What is the news on this particular market? Thank you very much. When we talk about, when we talk from the point of view of Citibank, and I can name two directions. First, we're using our Kazakhstani balance sheet, and the second one, we're using our global Citibank accounts. And these two directions are in operation, they work, and during this year it had been a lot discussed, especially with the regulator, when crediting had been monitored very much, and sometimes we understand that on our local books we cannot see that rapid growth, but nevertheless that credit appetite that Citi has, it's quite great, and we are doing transaction not only in Kazakhstan, but we're using our mother books for crediting for various regions. And together with that, those transactions that I'd like to mention, these are syndicate loans and credit agencies. And in terms of syndicate loan, recently we have had a very good transaction and $300 million for Halyk Bank after a long break, and this market has once again opened, and they were about 12 banks participating in this transaction. And I think that after this, we see the interest of other participants of the market and financial institutions and corporate clients, those who think about syndicated loans, and the gap was very big, the break. And if a company is thinking over attracting foreign banks, it requires some time for getting acquainted with this, especially on the basis of our previous transaction. Considering this break that we have had, international banks, they have to consider, they have to have time to consider credit risks, and this is for those banks who are not present here. And for us, it seems to be natural, and we revealed this for us. We didn't expect it, and some banks called us and they asked why are we comfortable with some specific risk related to Kazakhstan, not with this with any specific borrower. And expert agency, as Natalia said, we see that the interest is present. Latest transactions that were last year, and they are being kept this year as well. They deal with UNESXIMA, MIGA. So the credit assessment is getting better for the borrower, and by that, better conditions are provided for the company. And here we see that agencies during this time, because there was quite a long break when expert agencies have not been used, and we see that they are developing. We see some benefits when expert agencies are ready to provide their warranties, even if expert item might be of 80% and 20% from another country. That is why crediting is provided for 100% of the amount, not crediting, but the warranty of the expert agency. And or condition which is called untied guarantees, when expert agency is ready to give its guarantees without considering that equipment is coming from any country of expert agency. These transactions, they require a lot of preparation, but it worth it because money are considered for a long period, and in the case of capital expenditures, up to 22 years, and this is the tool which has to be considered. And on our example, we have several transactions that are being discussed with clients. And I cannot help saying that capital market, which is a tool as well, it is open. I know that they were very good transactions here in Kazakhstan, and as well the Western markets have been opened, and Euro bonds have been provided for Ministry of Finance, for Development Bank, and spreads have been provided on historically low levels, and it gives a good benchmark. It is understandable that there were no Kazakhstani private emittents, but they were discussions, and companies are getting prepared for this. I hope that next year we will see good news about this. I have to say, in addition to that, that I will get back to what I started saying. We're trying to motivate and use our Kazakhstani balance sheet. And it is understandable that the terms are quite short. And the very interesting tool that I'd like to mention is financing of suppliers. This is the borderline product which connects city with other companies of small, medium business, which are not clients of city, because companies, suppliers of our clients, and our clients are mostly global major companies with high ratings, or these are quite high Kazakhstani companies, and their spreads and credit margin is quite low comparing to other markets. But using the credit ratings, our suppliers of our clients, they can have discounts and use this financing from 3 up to 12 months. And this program is working. It is digital, and there is no need to be a client of Citibank. From the perspective of QOC, I understand that this process is quite long, and now it is simplified. You can just click a button between us and you, and if the partner is major, some global company that operates in Kazakhstan, they have to know that there is such a program, and it is very effective. And we have several very good examples of this, and we would like to promote this particular thing, not only for the work with global companies, but with Kazakhstani companies as well. So briefly, this is the answer. Thank you very much. Here I'd like to say that Citibank currently is active in investment agenda of the government. There was Kazakhstan Finance Day in New York, where American large financial companies participated, and they participate in this agenda, and we see activization in this sphere. If you don't mind, I'd like to say, because for my heart, this is a very important thing. On 28th of October, there was an event, and we have been preparing for it for a long time, and it was a great show up. There were a lot of investors, a lot of interested persons in investment interest for Kazakhstan, and I think this was very important that in the middle of Manhattan, on the headquarters of Street, we have gathered over 50 participants. On the panel session, they were representatives from regulating authorities and top financial institutions who has said a lot of Kazakhstani agenda, and we have got a great feedback and a lot of interested parties. And for Kazakhstan, this is very important, and to do that in New York, this is critical. I cannot help talking about this. Digitalization is a global trend which is changing all spheres of life, business, economy, and banking. Crediting is not an exception, especially crediting of small, medium business, where various channels, algorithms, platforms are being used. Crediting of small, medium business requires dwelling over it for a long time, including industrial tendencies. Could you say, how do you think digitalization, how it will change the business and credit activities of the banks, of small and medium-scale businesses? Thank you for your question. We talk a lot about digitalization, and you emphasized that everyone is talking about it, about retail and micro businesses. I'd like to take a step back, because digitalization has started from major and medium-scale businesses, probably not from crediting, but from transaction services. If you all remember that first platforms for bank clients, they have been created to provide services for corporate clients. And as of today, digitalization is the thing that we are seeing and having, and in everyday's life of physical persons and large companies. And I think that digitalization influences not only crediting process. Digitalization we can see in any everyday routine. And I think that further impact of digitalization will grow. And in terms of corporate crediting and servicing of corporate clients, I see the following directions. For the first, using of databases. As you have mentioned, Gauhar Sulbekovna, in order to credit major and medium clients, you need to have a lot of information in order to provide quality credit, quality loan. In order to avoid long provisions, we need to do a review of huge amount of information, to do analysis, to take the decision. And accordingly, to credit corporate business, it is critical to digitalize the process of information selection, getting data from big data, and possibilities to forecast paying ability of these clients. So that's a predictive analytics in terms of the projects, if we're talking about some startups or greenfield projects. So here I see the first sphere where we have to work a lot with big data. And what had been implemented for ages already, this is automatization and digitalization of decision taking. And this is not required only for clients, but for banks as well. Because it reduces operational costs, allows to take more precise decisions, and decreases the speed of decision making for clients. In terms of medium scale and large business, crediting, digitalization of loans has already been done. And using platforms for banks for transaction activities of our clients. Here we see the management of finances, various escrow accounts, everything that had been automated a long time ago, but it requires customization in order to be more user-friendly. And the fourth is the sphere, which requires attention, is consolidation of data for corporate clients, probably under the supervision of the state or national bank. And recently, NPK agenda is being discussed very much now. Discussion of various products for retail, and under the supervision of some ministries, for example, it requires to create a platform to aggregate the data for major corporate clients, what would allow to take quick decisions regarding their financing. Generally speaking, these are four items that already exist, and they still have the potential for development. And if we're talking about corporate development, our bank has large expertise with large corporate clients, because we are a part of ERG system and we service it. And from the point of view of corporate crediting, we revived this story 4 or 5 years ago, and these pathways for digitalization that I talked about, that we have implemented, and with what we work quite a lot. Thank you very much for your comprehensive reply. As a representative of Damu Fund, I see how portfolio of changing of corporate business in general, Eurasian Bank, RBK Bank, they are quite active in this relation. Mr. Jusupov, we're happy to see you here, despite you said that you don't know why you are here. Broadening of crediting activities is very essential for microfinance entities. But we're talking about major business, and your clients are being serviced. And the question is, what is the reason for increasing of crediting portfolio, and how do you participate in crediting of real sector of economy? What products are most wanted? I can reply in two levels. The first, that Medina has shown growth of portfolios and assets of international financial organization by 8%. 8 times, and this is related to consumer credit, and regulator and parliament and the government they saw that, generally speaking, consumer crediting is not bad in general, but when the indebtedness becomes too big, it becomes harmful for the country and dangerous for the country. And that is why regulator is trying to regulate this, and parliament is supporting this in regards of limiting consumer credits, and it happens every day. And of course, banks participate in consumer crediting, but I think that they have better risk management, and in microfinance sector can be divided into classical microfinance companies that have been initially created for crediting of entrepreneurs' business. Let's remember about the idea of crediting. In 1974, future Nobel Prize winner, who is president of Bangladesh, Mohamed Yunus, he provided this. And the logics of crediting of micro enterprises crediting was in there. But in Kazakhstan, we are going in another pathways. That is why microfinance companies, generally speaking, generally more consumed with consumer credits. And that is why there were some steps taken in terms of limitation of this activity, and as well business loans. And the second reason are the microfinance organizations.
And this is the reason why we should give more loans to our entrepreneurs. And Timur Muratovich just said that they contribute up to 5% or 4% in this year. And actually, it is in this logic that the finance companies which are concentrating to our loan provision to our entrepreneurs, and they are growing bigger. They're growing together with the economy, and our products which we are providing to our customers, they are like well-known customer-related products like individual loan provision, or you will be very surprised, but it is individual loan giving, and but also group loan provision. It is also a very, very interesting product for entrepreneurs, and of course, it is good for a group of people who know each other, and they do not need to give additional collateral to the microcredit finance organizations, and with this with joint responsibility, they just can get a loan for themselves without additional collateral. So actually, a lot of them, more than half, they are our customers. They are from the rural areas, and we just introduced in our mobile applications also the provision of telemedicine, and also we have access to our medical services, like we have a possibility to access even the doctors from Moscow for small money, a small amount of money. You can have a very good service directly in the app. And also the next thing which we introduce in our mobile application is the veterinary service, and also at up to 70%, also two cows, as you remember before. A lot of clients just have two cows, and then they start to grow, and they increase also the amount of cattle they have for breeding. It is good that the veterinary services are available on the local level, but not on the small villages. For some reasons, there are not some reliable servicing at the moment, but now it is actually there, and this kind of service is very needed. And a lot of our customers, they just want to have this kind of advice, and they should be able to get this kind of advice in relations to the cattle bringing. We have some thoughts in regard to our educational possibilities, like we think that our youth on the ground, on the rural area, they should be able to have a restraint and that they do not know English language. And we thought that it should be useful for our people, for kids, for our customers, that they should be able to bring themselves into the economy of the company. Thank you very much, Shalkar Mihanovic. And along with the youth boards, it is good to raise your customers, yes, to make them grow. And one of the reasons that we just would like to transform into the bank, because we raised a lot of our successful entrepreneurs, and then they switched to the banks. And of course, this was one of the reasons we want to be a bank. On the other side, it is also an additional page of our transformation, also to be on the spot and to give additional services in one application for our rural customers. Actually, we do not want to be like classic bankers, but we would like to be able to give our services to our customers. So you spoke about the contribution of Mohammad Yunus. Actually, he was provisioning a lot of help to our female entrepreneurs. Also, your KMF microfinance organizations, you received 100 million US dollar for this topic, for this issue, for our development of female entrepreneurships. Shalka Roman Gosovic, thank you very much once again. In Kazakhstan, more than 60% of provisions and of payments for insurance are from the private side. So how do you see, Karan Tarjavich, do you think that it should be more developed in this regard? And what is the insurance is needed for our entrepreneurs? The insurance company Eurasia is one of the biggest companies on our market, or even in former Soviet Union states. What is the latest development of this sphere, and do you expect the growth of the corporate insurance in Kazakhstan? I start rather with the latest part of your questions. Actually, we have a lot of turbulence in the last year in the sphere of insurance. We had a lot of earthquakes, for example, in Taiwan. It's stopped even the produce of microchips. Also hurricanes in USA and also in the Emirates. They have and even supercars were flooded in the Emirates. We are present on all of these markets, and this kind of catastrophic events are giving us the opportunity to think about our activities also about the earthquakes in Almaty, and you think about the insurance schemes and insurance practices. Actually, it is a tool which helps us to avoid risk. So we are not able to give reinsurance from our clients in Kazakhstan. Even we are rated at triple B level, and we are giving them the opportunity on the international market, but we are restrained from this in Kazakhstan. If we compare the rates of our competitors on the market, and they are higher. So they are lower than 2 times lower than the European tariffs or European rates for. Also, the hard collateral could be insurance certificates or insurance certificate, or just a letter of guarantee from the AAA agency. But in Kazakhstan, there are not such insurance companies with AAA ratings, and of course, this kind of restraints are not helping us to develop, and also the lack of financial literacy is as a big threshold to our customers. They do not understand all of the risks, and at the governmental level, they also use the insurance systems in not in Kazakhstan but abroad, and Samruk Kazana just asks 3% to 12%. But of course, we are, as insurance companies, sectors, we need to make the information more available to our local companies, to our local people, and we need to see that a lot of risks are there if some catastrophic events would be damaged, if we have such events in the city of Almaty, for example. And if we if we speak about the small and medium enterprises, then the situation is even worse. And because they do not use these insurance systems, they do not do the insurance services. They can ask for these insurance services. They are available. We use insurance. They should be actually there, and people should know about this. I would like to close this session with the last questions from my side. What kind of balance do you see between the states and the business to foster the load provisions for corporate entities in Kazakhstan? Thank you very much for your questions. I think it is in a great relations for your target audience and for your goals. And if we see need to increase a lot of working places in Kazakhstan, so you need to adapt your measures, state measures for this. And actually, the state is already doing a lot of things in this regards, and we are providing some bonds from the states for the states, and the bonds are bought by the states, and we have the money, and then we can use this money to credit the SMEs, and then we have a lot of long-term money, and we do not have cash gaps, and the client has a lot of possibilities, and also the long-term loan provisioning, and the clients are also safe, and they do understand how much and how long do they pay. In this scheme we are working exactly right now, and if we know that we need even more to do for our gross domestic product to increase this, and we need also to see that a lot of people were born in these years, and we need to think about this demographic situation as well. And we spoke already with the states and our regulatory body. They are listening to us, and we need also to fulfill some provisions and some needs. And of course, we just need to be open from the side of the banks, to be open from the side of the states authorities, that everybody listens to each other and to support each other in this regard. So first of all, I would like to see that you would continue to provide your business support, and of course the guarantees, the subsidies of the business, me, myself, and also the Citibank example, to have them to develop in Kazakhstan. And of course it is actually not a proper division just to have two groups. One of them they are exporting, and one of them are not exporting. And actually, the provisioning of providing of measures of state support, they are needed. We see them. We do very appreciate them. And of course, according to the special rules, and the rules should be transparent and clear. And actually, it is a very good instrument and tool to use the money for funds for investments. And of course, today it is a very good instrument, both subsidizing and both guaranteeing of the loans. During the recent years, the requirements to our clients grew a lot, and of course the target group has become smaller. That is like a winter period which we have to overcome, and to reach a new level on the accounting systems, balance provisioning, and also for our clients it is needed, and also it is good from the side of the regulators. And in the coming years, we see that our clients would be developing themselves. As it was said today, it should not be. If we do not help, we just should not disturb. And I like this idea. I think the market should be self-regulating, and it should be very lively if it is like this. So the next self-regulating market, it is exactly the work of our Damu foundations, and we should work together with our companies, like with Kazakh Export Agency, and also self-regulating bodies should be there, and they should set up themselves to work together, and both with the states and both with some private institutions. Thank you very much. It is good that we can coordinate among state institutions, banks, and regulating authorities, and we need to see that our focus remains in the means of privatizations to lower the state's influence into the private spheres. Like, we would like to develop the market, but we still have a lot of state enterprises on the market. in our market economy. And during our first session, we just asked what is the real liberalizations, and I also in big hope for a new banking liberalization laws. I see this from my perspective because we need a global perspective, and also with global banks we have to compete properly, and as actually globally a lot of companies and banks they try to make the procedures even easier, or to collect them together in one place in a hub. And the same situation we have in our activities, and the easier the processes are there, the more we can use the international financing, international standards of financial reporting, and also can provide a lot of loans to our customers, and the more we can do with our
in terms of development of private business. And here, what city is good here? It is giving its network. It works with companies in all the markets, and one of the benefits when we are in the emerging markets with the leaders of the market that work not only in Kazakhstan but start working with abroad, then they need this global and bank with an international network who gives its own network. And we see that Kazakhstani market is developing very well, and we see leaders in the market that can use this network, especially with correct corporate governance. And this issue we have always, we have discussed it last week or this week during other conference. And the better corporate governance is, the more opportunities for the companies to come out and come out to the markets and use all the services and possibilities that are available. And in own region, in Middle East, Africa, I see that countries are going far forward. They work, and here I encourage everyone to deal with this and to make governance better, and you allow yourself to work more with global banks. From my side, as a person related to insurance, insurance is not increasing the amount of crediting, but from other side, insurance gives that tool for protection that allows to reduce risks, especially for the second-tier banks. And here we can use 3-point security belt, like in a car, that did not increase the sales of the cars, but did increase the safety of the cars and people who are driving them. And generally speaking, when in a human body, banks are being considered to be the blood system. Insurance is like the immune system that protects the body. This immune system has to be trained, has to be made bigger. Banks have to pay attention at this particular tool in order to decrease the risks of the portfolio. Thank you very much. Globally, my position is that government does not have to participate in crediting of the economy. This is globally. Thanks to our president, our country is becoming a more predictable country. We see a lot of political reforms that were very much anticipated, that we needed this, and investors became more calm in this regard. But what lacks are some economical things, and this law on banks is like a predictor of future economical reforms. I hope for that very much. And generally speaking, in participation of the government in economy, banks or financial institution or borrowers. In this model, everything has to be very simple. We are a developing country. We are still waiting for global economical reforms, and so far, government has to participate in development of some particular sphere. But in this model, in my understanding, everything should be easy, and we work with various financial institutions, EBRD. Everyone in this chain has to benefit. If someone does not have benefits, this chain won't work. That is why EBRD, IFC, they have global experience. They work on all markets in the world. We're not inventing something new. They say, let us be making some wholesale programs for you, and you will be delivering them to the final borrower. And these chains, they have to work. And I'm talking in the plane of microfinancial programs that we have had a lot, but now we are seeing that situation is getting better, and our final participation, Gauhar Isabekovna, in programs of Damu, and we are happy. Everything works perfect, and in fact, if this sphere is developed, if it is subsidized, if it has guarantees. So this is a very important part of it. And I'd like to add that globally, big programs work in the country for banks. And microfinance market, after all these changes and challenges, I think that licenses are taken away in big amounts. That is why the market is getting cleared, and we would have been eager to support some governmental programs for microfinance institution, maybe via Damu, maybe via some other state operators, or there should be used a model when large banks, without not having a branched network, they could insert a microfinance organization into this system. And globally, banks are getting, according to the program, are getting some amount, but not being capable to get to some rural areas. KMF is covering something like 4,000 villages. We could be the help for those banks. Thank you very much. I remember in 2014, 2017, EBRD, ERD, they funded banking sector, microfinance sector via Damu fund. They were warranties of the fund or by Terek, and now picture is completely different, and financial and EBRD already is trusting our microfinance institution without participation of the government. Dear colleagues, we have discussed today a very interesting session. Everyone has been very much impressed by the first session. Thank you to our speakers. Goodbye. Раз и вырубили нам все. Good day, everyone. Evening of Friday. I think that the least passion that remained, everyone wants to go home. I'd like to congratulate everyone with the Day of National Currency. Would like to wish you prosperity, health, and traditionally we, under the cover of the Congress of Financial Congress, we get together, and I think we have very interesting speakers today, and we are going to discuss quite a broad area that sounds like new products in endowment funds and investment products. If you had the chance to look through the program, you saw that besides the major players in securities market, we have representatives of endowment fund of Aurora and National Investment Corporation under the National Bank of Kazakhstan. Today, let's talk about conceptual subjects. If you remember, at every event, we have this argument. What's the first? What's primary for development of securities market? Are the quality emittents to have investor or liquidity in order to bring quality investors? Today, we're not going to argue about this. And I think it'll be wise to agree that direction from all sides has to be simultaneous. Let's talk about necessities of investors. Let's talk about new investment products that are not present in Kazakhstan, or they are represented not in a strong way. What we have to adjust in regulating in legislation for investment funds. Let's change our focus to endowment funds because this is a new institutional player. Let's start from questions. Sergey, the question is for you. It's not a secret that we have a law for venture and investment funds. It dates back to 20 years, even more. During this period, there was a lot of amendments. There were a lot of amendments, exclusions. If we look at this law now, then we will see that a lot of things have changed within the recent years. A lot of new has been introduced in there, and there was such an opinion from our regulator that the law has to be changed, updated. But my personal opinion, when we discussed it with the regulator in May this year, I have had opinion that it has to be written from scratch, like the law on banks. We need to provide the image of the future where we have to strive to. That is why my question, Freedom Finance, the player who works in two jurisdictions in FCA or FSCR, you have the experience both in there, in both of these fields. And now when we are on this crossroads, whether we change the old law or we write a new one, what we want to see in this new law, in order to make this development not trying to catch up, but trying to equalize it and provide for the future such things that every 6 months we wouldn't have had to change the law. Hello, I'd like to congratulate everyone with the Day of Finance. It's a short day. Everyone wants to go home, and it's almost the end of the day. Discussion is, we expect it to be interesting. Let's talk about funds. During the first panel, we talked about banks, all the same, but about banks. So there is a message from President that the law has to be rewritten, guys. But this year we have had 180 amendments to the law, and now we're having the same discussion here about the investment funds law, whether we're going to change it or not. What is the purpose? What we want to achieve? Quite often, capabilities of investors, they decide which jurisdiction to choose. Frankly speaking, I didn't see investors who wanted at the event for retail investors from one side stand of MFCA and on another side another stand. It seems like investor doesn't have this problem. There is no such event and such contest. Looks like that the industry does not have this problem. Seems like we have to admit that everyone is represented in both sides. And it's a matter of fact that all professional participants, for their clients, for their products, their tasks, they create specific product either in one jurisdiction or in another. Do we need to create a contest between the regulators in order to adjust one product for another? In my opinion, this is running on one place. They will never be the same. Because one regulator is for principles, and the second one is for the traditional right, where it's written what you can do, what you can't do. Okay, it's not clearly stated. Okay, it's written what's good, and if you do, it will be good. And in jurisdiction of MFR, it's written what you can do. Which means that everything else is prohibited. And there were a lot of corrections. And during the first panel about banks, it was correctly said that the changes are introduced in the laws. Do we amend the laws or under law acts? Because we need to go to the deputies to prove them, to explain, and it's a huge work. That is why a professional participant comes to the regulator and suggests to launch this or that product. But you need to adjust a law a little bit. It means that this work will take 1 year. You have to change the legislation, then you have to change the product. So time to market is considerably huge. And that is why there should be a law with very narrow things, and all the rest shall go to the sub-legislative act. Maybe it will be easier. This is the first thought that I have had. So the contest between the regulators looks like excessive thing, and each of them has its benefits and its drawbacks. And in particular, my speech is going to using all the possibilities that you have, both windows. If it works this way, then the industry will be able to use it, and consequently, clients will get quickly the products that are profitable. Yes, of course, if we're getting back to investment funds, then we need to talk about some differences. And as I said, the difference is in the approaches. In some jurisdictions, one product can work, in another product, and you have to choose yourself as a financial institution where you launch this or that investment product. And you can use both jurisdictions. What's good for one jurisdiction can be used for another, and it has to work as well. But when we get back to the letter R in the title of the regulator, then And if we talk in order to address the direct message, what can make the jurisdiction work easier? Then maybe when I came several years ago to Freedom Group and started working with our products related to investment funds, I saw that they bring freedom quite a low amount of money. We started dwelling over this, and we came across such an interesting fact that custodian that we are using, he is earning more than the managing companies, despite all the risks are on the managing companies, sales are on the companies, and custodian, he has less functions, but he is getting more than the managing company. And I understand that this is a pain for the entire market. And several years ago, I understand that automatization every year goes further. But nevertheless, several years ago, almost all work had been done manually using papers. It's like bring and take it out. So if your financial institution is large, you have banks, you have custodians, they have credits, they have many branches that earn money, and custodian is somewhere in the end of the list. And when they come to the budget committee and they ask for money for automatization, it's easier to understand where they will be sent. That is why automatization requires money, and the payback period is quite long, and that's a pain as well. But own custodians, if a group cannot use its own custodians, what is the suggestion? Let's look to the central depositarium. If we want to shift this market, how many of them we have? 5, 4 for the country. So the central depositarium could dissolve it. It's a structure that does not depend anyone in terms of private having depository. And this would have worked quite good. I understand that automatization and everything definitely it will work good despite the amount of the tasks. But anyway, we need to talk to central depository anyway. Trying to get rid of what you cannot fix, and if as well we're talking about MFCA, and you cannot work with the custodian, this is a quite serious risk for launching of these products. Interesting, thank you.
Let's speak with you, Farhad, please. Halyk Finance is one of the biggest players on the market. What do you think? I would like to hear your opinion on that. What would be if it will be possible to use like new legislations on this? How can you convince them with new products, principles inside of these legislations? What do you think? How do you see this? Thank you very much, Dauren. Congratulations to our financial day, and also it's great to be with you and to speak to you. One of the concepts of the new legislations of our new law is already in process of being drafted, and together with some consultants from the World Bank and also some we need to level these legislations, because we have different views and different dimensions of such laws, like for infrastructure, like custody, what Sergei explained about the central depository and so on. And we see in this concept and this drafted law already some best practice examples from the international practice. For example, qualifications and requirements to the funds, like for some funds should be for qualified investors, non-qualified investments, opportunities, closed foundations, or funds they can bring out some shares to the markets, different structure of the funds like umbrella funds, master feeder, and it means that our regulatory body, IFR, is actually developing into the direction that we actually have already on international financial market in Astana, International Financial Center in Astana. And actually, yes, we do have these products in our international Astana International Financial Center. And okay, we have only closed parts on the risk investments and shares and bonds, and it is being developed at the moment. Actually, we need to have the framework legislations, and then we need to have a lot of different small laws or regulations, or on other different hidden examples, hidden levels of interaction. I would like to give you an example. There is some requirements on Morningstar's requirements, and we still have this in our legislation. I think it is like a remnant, and we could not take ETFs because they are not allowed. They are not allowed. It is not said about his size, about his rating, about his option, and so on. But all of these remnants are there in our legislation at different levels from our old structure, and we should get rid of them. And it also it would be good that also the collective investments should be provided also to our custody systems, that the custody systems should work properly with a firewall, like a Chinese wall between the normal business and the custody business. And normally in our systems, the custody business was underdeveloped in our banking system, and it was actually natural situation in a bank, and they tried to develop the first depository basis. Now they are developing GovTech, other things. You can use the governmental services in the banking system. In these directions, they grow, but the custody business or depository system is not being developed by the banks, and at the moment we have a lot of gaps to close, and actually our state system is still working properly. But why it is not possible to give this kind of services into a private hand? Actually, our custody system is working good, but it is still not possible at our custody systems. For example, foreign currency exchange is not possible at our custody, and this kind of automatization and digitalization of the custody business, and it is growing. Yes, we see the growth, and for example, some of the operations were taken manually, 2 or 3 of them, but now it is a lot of transactions. What do you see in regard of the current legislations? Do you have the difference investment funds and venture funds? Should we divide them, or should we include them into one corps on one funds? It is not for the first time that they try to put them together. For example, project financing, we have the same situation. Two different things were added into one. I think it is good for a start. Why not? Maybe it could be in one law, but we need to see that we have the time that this kind of laws would be separated with the time. Not now, but maybe later. So the next questions I would like to ask Timur Salimov. Timur, as you remember, we had some meetings with the regulatory body in regard to the new legislation that they just said to us that we have a market for collective investment, and this market has decreased since the year 2021. I would like to ask you about the shares. It is needed that we have different special criteria on this kind of shareholding funds. Do we need to have this division into qualified or non-qualified investment? Thank you very much, Dauren. I would like to congratulate all of you to our National Currency Day, and I would like to answer this way. As to the new legislations, we have different funds in our legislations, venture funds, also real estate funds, direct investment funds. All of them will be possible to buy only by professional investors. I think real estate funds are actually could be accessible by normal investment, and they are actually good to be exposed into real estate market, and they also distribute almost 90% of the incomes as earnings, as dividends, and it is good just to buy these real estate investment funds as an opportunity to be in the investment of the real estate, but without buying directly the real estate. It is good for also for broad circles of investors to be in them, but actually the level of the investment if they have a lot of experience, 3 years of experience, they have not less than 8,000 of units. It is more than 3 million of tenge. If it is not suitable to this person, but it is still possible to receive this status of qualified investors, and actually it is like a provision which is near to our European regulations, and actually also the one option is also to have more than 50 deals on the currency, on the share market, and then you can be a qualified investor. And I think I would underline that the real estate funds should be accessible for all of the investors, but the direct funds, mutual funds, and other funds should only be accessible by qualified investors. Different kinds of funds should be clearly marketed that for whom they are accessible. I did not see any legislations on the ETFs, exchange traded funds, because they just mentioned not in the legislation but in the they are like passive funds, and they are just following the index, and they just used to follow the market, and they are now transformed into different kinds of commodity funds like gold funds, spider, and so other examples. They have some strong characteristics, like they are like passive investment opportunities. They do not have like a strategy, and they do not have relations to the authorized participants, and this is one of the member of the chains, like big investment houses in between of the customer and ETF. And if they do become very popular, then the second participant, middleman, can sell during the high level of demand, because if they have like they want to sell underlying entities, and they can sell ETF. So, and it is good to combine all of the market opportunities, and also it could be avoided that the price is going up or down very seriously. And I would like to underline that ETFs are still needed, and they should be there on Kazakhstan Stock Exchange, and they should be in our legislations. And if they would not be there, that our investors would be not here, but on the international level, on the national markets. So the next wish of mine is to give the word to Svetlana Lavrova. She is like a bridge of including our endowment foundations into very active investment opportunities in Kazakhstan. Endowment foundations are not quite new in our market, but it should be actually an opportunity for endowment funds to be very active on the market. I would like to hear from you, Svetlana, how can be this kind of endowment funds be active on the market? What is needed still to be here, that this story continues to be successful in Kazakhstan? It is, I do not mean some tax incentives or some other stimulating measures. Probably endowment foundations are actually not there because there are lack of some specialized investment instruments. We have more than 20 years of different experience, and we continue to foster the endowment foundations. And I would like to ask you a question. Do you know what is the endowment foundation? Endowment foundation is, I would like to answer these questions. Actually, it is like a specialized capital, or I think it is like a lump sum of money which are devoted for special commercial topic. This kind of money is not provided for usage, but the only additional money from the dividends are used every year without touching the general capital, and for a good reason, like for museum or for social or educational purposes, or for century-like usage. And also, it is we are speaking about now about the financial part. And for example, we do not need an endowment foundation, but we need the income or the earnings from the endowment investments. So please, we are now at a financial congress, and we need to speak about these lump sums, and it is more than 1 year, 10 years. And of course, it is a long-term investments which are very interested on the market. And in the whole history of the mankind, we have a lot of positive examples of this double-sided positive aspects. And also these kind of funds, they receive a lot of money from the physical persons or from companies, like they are giving some additional money to this kind of endowment foundations. And on the other side, they are institutional investment bodies that they are actually good on the market, and they are investing very actively. What kind of products do they use? And they are very careful for investment purposes, and they have actually a lot of problems in regard of the long-term activities, because a lot of investment products are devoted for very short time of usage, 1 year or 2 years or maximum 3 years. And we started to include these endowment foundations on the market. And I would like, I heard the answers like, we need to plan for a year. I said, no, we need to plan for more than 50 years and so on. It is a different view, actually. So we are there for long-term investments, and I see this as a problem, and the same I see in the Kazakhstan. And for Kazakhstan, I would say we rather have a lot of things which could be developed still. Also in Kazakhstan, there is a lack of liquid means, and also the day-by-day liquidity or even monthly liquidity, it is not available to our funds. Aurora Allah, for example, $1 million. It was like $1 million. It was not much to us, but in our Kazakhstan stock exchange, they just said to us it was, oh, that is $1 million. That was much for Kazakhstan stock exchange. This is actually a big problem for the local market. We have now more than 20 endowment foundations,
and amongst these 21 endowment funds that are present now, only 3 are investing. And these are those ones who understand how to do investing, and others who consciously go into this field. One of the major charity funds, endowment, they consciously are not investing. They store at deposits. You understand that rates at security deposits in the banks are quite good now. That is why. And when we ask them why, and they say, "What if we want to withdraw money? How fast can we do that?" And this issue is still actual. What's first? Whether we bring money and market will expand, or the market has to expand before we bring the money. and at the same time, the product should be quite long. In this context, we have to work together and go step by step. And I'd like to emphasize that the dual nature endowment, they develop not only institutional investors, but physical persons as well. When people give money to endowment in order to support social sphere, people understand. And endowment explains them that they invested, and the profit from endowment is then being invested. So the level of education is growing. And on last session, we discussed what we shall develop: physical persons or institutional investors. I think endowment here covers two topics. If I responded the question that you asked, thank you very much. Once I'd like to specify, you mentioned 20 funds that exist in Kazakhstan now, and only 3 of them are doing investment activity, plus 1 who is having money on bank deposits, or they just spend this money. These are the rest, and they work upon the model of the charity fund, but they nevertheless call themselves an endowment fund. We have another speaker, Serikjan Rizbekov, National Investment Corporation. Here you are standing alone here in our, because the fund that you are leading is a participant working in different jurisdictions, under different conditions, and we would like to hear what you do, what interesting investment products, ideas that can be brought to Kazakhstan, and probably to highlight how geopolitical factors influence the investment decisions that are being taken inside your company. Thank you, Daurian. I'd like to congratulate with Finance Day all people engaged in this sphere. Yes, our organization is unique, not only in context of Kazakhstan, but in the CIS countries. We are a subsidiary of National Bank from 2012. We have been created, and our mandate is managing of gold and currency, and we invest in real estate, hedge fund, and the private equity. From the time of our foundation, we have had various stages of development: creation of corporation, selection of strategical partners, development of business process, and later on 2015, we launched our investment program. We started it from investment on private equity, hedge funds. Then we added investing into real estate, and now we're investing. We're launching a program of investment into infrastructure, and we want to get the payback from reference portfolio at the ratio between the shares and bonds, and the high risk relation 80 by 20, 80% of shares, 20 of securities. And we expect that our portfolio profitability will be successful. Since creation, we pay attention at our staff development. I'd like to say that we have the biggest concentration of employees that have CFA certification. 32 employees we have, and 12 of them have this certification. Besides, they have various FAM, Kaya certification, and others. Starting from 2015, we invested into two global investment funds, and we expand our contacts with institutional investors, endowment funds, and what Svetlana talked about, and we invest in service providers, and proceeding from the results of management, starting from 2016 up to 2023, we invested 1.8 billion USD into these types of assets, and over this we earned 1.1 billion USD. And annual average profitability from 18 to 23 makes 9-10% in USD. If we talk about alternative investment in context of Kazakhstan, our financial sector, and this had been discussed during other sessions, is represented by banking sector. And during recent years, banks are very much focused on consumer credits, on loans to small and medium-scale businesses. Usually, to banks go those organizations who are quite stable with cash flows, and they have well organized mortgaging. And those who are less organized, they don't have access to financing, and this is a problem as well. And I consider that those competences that our bank has, they could have been useful for development of such things like private equity. And if we are talking about private equity, the existing situation works for further development, and now it is getting up to $2.3 trillion, and we have a good bank expertise, and our employees, they have it, and our banks are not crediting right now, and this niche is quite free, and we would like to consider it as a business opportunity. Other class of assets that is very popular is infrastructure. Considering the geopolitical things that are happening, development of new technologies, all this has led foreign investors and foreign investing companies that we work with, they are interested in Kazakhstani infrastructure, and they are interested in the medium-sized corridor, the route that had been provided by diversification of energy sources and products to Europe. And other direction is artificial intelligence, development of and construction of data centers, and all these projects in this sphere, they have a great potential, and foreign investors can be attracted. If we're talking about hedge funds are not so developed because equity capital is not well developed in our country, and there are issues related to changing of legislation, updating of it, investing on outside markets, like Farhad mentioned, various structures, umbrella funds, master feeder. There are plenty of organizational and right forms that can be used for investment in various classes of assets. And what's important, flexibility and transparency of these structures has to be in place, and the low cost is very attractive for small-scale business. They can attract capital to their projects, and in the West we see that a lot of companies, major part of economically active population, they are engaged in the investment process. And I hope that these changes that are introduced into the law they will consider these possibilities that what would lead to diversification, growth of economy, and broadening up of a portfolio for investors. If we're talking about geopolitical factors, these are the main criteria that we pay attention at during our investment process. And we think that current geopolitical turbulence, it's not temporarily. It has caused a structural shift that would definitely influence for the long-term investment that we're making. At that, participants of the market note that high possibility that pro-inflational processes have the higher risk. And proceeding from our practice, I'd like to have an example in terms of infrastructure investment. 2022-23, they became our record years for the amount of transactions on the market, and these classes of assets are attracting investors as well due to the situation in the Eastern Europe, starting from sanctions and conflict between Russia and Ukraine, diversification of energy infrastructure, starting using of renewables, what in fact has given a great spur for development of such of this type of market, both in Europe and in USA. And the second example, that situation between China and USA strongly influences the private equity market, and global production is highly related to global supply chain and what Western countries are doing, onshoring, offshoring, relocating their facilities from China to other places. This has given a great impulse to development of industrial and logistical chains. So that is why geopolitical factor is a critical one that we have to consider. Thank you, Serikjan. As far as I understood from your speech, with these risk factors, including geopolitics, we are for a long spoken out about alternatives, about geopolitical risks and infrastructure investments. Only long-term investments are capable to do that. And large endowment from USA investors. So Harvard has $54 million. It's like a GDP of some countries. That is why alternatives. It's not risk into investments or hedge funds in a large endowment of universities in USA make 50%. This is getting back to the portfolio share. I understand that we are running out of our schedule. I have a second series of questions. Let's try to be brief. And Sergey, question to you. Could you be a futurologist and share your vision how freedom group of companies would develop? What new products are you going to introduce? Is there space for new technologies, for artificial intelligence, blockchain? What is the role for it? Maybe you can share your personal opinion and vision. Proceeding from what we have discussed, in order to be, according to the subject of the panel, we study securitization very much. The product is laying on the top a lot of credits that population is having, that small and medium scale business have. Seems like if there are a lot of credits, they can be securitized and then sold. There is a law on securitization, but it does not work quite well. As far as I understand, they were something like 5 stories of securitization, so that is why this product would be over demand. Because if the rate is 30%, so if you securitize it at 25%, then it will be purchased with pleasure. That is why, yes, if we're talking about collective investments, when we talk about artificial intelligence, I think that's a pain of every person. Some people are forced, other people force another people. Before you ask anything, ask GPT chat and get the reply from there. So it seems to be like simple thing to implement. When you introduce a product for the use of some business, the product and the difficulty is that the artificial intelligence develops much quicker than your product has time to market, and you are setting up a task for your product, and you're trying to feed it with some information. I remember when we first tried to launch consultations, when client could 24/7 ask for a consultation for the products. So we tried to do models, tried to write tags, to create instructions, and until we before the moment when we finished it, artificial intelligence learned how to browse in internet for some information, and all our work was in vain. So it develops much faster than you are having a chance to implement it. And on various platforms, artificial intelligence consults on securities. It can give you the alternative securities that you can compare it with. There are such products. Of course, everyone is trying to implement it as a support for clients, and there are quite a lot of tools that can do consulting, same as ChatGPT could browse something in the internet. So, and we have a lot of startups coming up suggesting their new developments, but usually what we see, these are completely not ready products. That is why we're not dealing with that. Thank you very much, Sergey. Farhad, question to you. Halyk Finance. Here, let's shift our focus towards managing of pension funds, and Halyk Finance is amongst the 5th best ones, and we understand that in ENPF we have 31 trillion tenge. Only some share of it is in the Halyk Finance. What says that generally all our investors are not active in selection of a particular strategy, and they don't have these categories in their head about nearly distant future. We would like to hear what we can drastically change in this part, and to get this investment activity from citizens to increase, and we could talk that this is a success story and it started to work.
So the first thing I would like to mention that the pension funds should be managed by private companies, and despite the fact that they are quite new, 16 billions of tenge, they were transferred from the national funds to private companies, it is still less than 3%, and is still too really small. And who from you, dear colleagues, were transferring some of the funds to private managers? So, of course, there are only some few people from the company, from our participants, and actually you are very well known, and actually it is a fact that not so much people were transferring these funds to private managers, and actually it is the same assets like you have. And I think National Bank as a manager were giving to your assets, for example, 10%, and the private managers, every of them, they have from 13 to 17%. And now, in this latest 10 months, the National Bank has 10%, and the private companies, they still have from 13 to 16%. For example, this is actually not a criticism to the National Bank, but they have own specialized approaches, and they do, for example, not the case what we do. For example, long-term state bonds, they need to be reassessed from time to time. They do not do this, but we do. And it is not bad or good, but 2022, if we have a lot of decrease on the market, and also Goldman Sachs, Barclays, they had a lot of losses from 15 to 30%, and National Bank was in plus. It was like a great effort, and they had plus 6% in that year, plus 6% in the crisis year, and this is like, how do you use the benchmarking? What kind of benchmark you should provide for everyone? And yes, of course, we need to be involved in this kind of discussions, and this is what we expect from our colleagues, that the investors or pension funds investors should be able to choose between the aggressive investment or middle aggressive investment or safe investment strategies, and actually it is important. Okay, I see. Thank you very much for your opinion. Timur, question to you, please. I would like to ask you to make some predictions for the future. What do you see? What is the ideal market for our investors? What kind of ideal investment products are there? And it would be a situation you said, okay, it is interested to me, and I would rather be on that market, and not just filing, or not just filing something, or so we are actually the leader of the investment gain on the market, and actually we are not guaranteeing the inflations, and if we see that income is falling, that we cannot guarantee the inflations on our assets. As to the future, I would predict the following. I would rather say that we need to have more attention on blockchain industry, blockchain and decentralized finance, that we have a lot of different anti-fraud measures, that we do not have scams on the markets or discriminating things on the market. Actually, we do have already some tokens, and tokens own some some assets are tokenized, and we see this on the example of Compound, that you can borrow some money, you can give some assets for your actual tokens, and you can buy and sell the tokens, and you can vote on the next level, that what kind of algorithms should be used for your tokens, and also for you can repurchase the assets, PAV. Also, you can use your assets like you can roll your loans, and for example, for your private needs, you have a lot of opportunities, but we are actually still limited on Coinbase and on Binance. It is not allowed in Kazakhstan. In Kazakhstan, it is not allowed to do a lot of different things which are already on the markets. And I asked our colleagues with MasterCard, and they said to me that they use the union with Altyn Bank, that they have some cards which are connected to with non-fiat currencies. It is already with Altyn Bank and with Eurasian Bank already there. So this is a hint for the future. We can see. Svetlana, for you, I have a rather simplified question. As you know, started with the first month of this year until September, we discussed a lot how we should change the actual tax code, because it was a burning issue for Kazakhstan. And I think this kind of work will be continued at the moment and next year as well. But what do you see? What is needed to be included in the new tax legislations that your endowment foundations will prosper in Kazakhstan? For example, what is the best experience outside of Kazakhstan, and what should we provide as associations of financing on the financial market, that we can start explaining these kind of things to our government, to our tax authorities, and in the year of 2025, as we expect a new tax code, what should we have? Actually, we have a lot to do with this already, and during the last months we discussed this, and I need to mention both sides. First of all, we need to see that our investors are good with our investments in the endowment funds, and they should have some tax incentives, and also on the income tax. We should also have some non-financial benefits, like being a specialized citizen of something or something else. And we would speak about this kind of foundations as a prosperity foundations. We should not use the paradigm of tax incentives, because it is actually not applicable with our systems, and we would rather use the word preferences, or even evasion of double taxation in because we already paid on because we already paid some taxes from our income, and we should not be double taxated after we gave some money to the endowments foundation, and we see that from that money some additional revenues are received, and actually, and to avoid these improper situations, and we try to explain to our parliamentarians, and we would rather first start to use the proper word on this evasion of double taxations, and you see the world with different eyes, and normally this change should be without any taxes, and of course this is for the good reason, for support of the social sphere, and you just asked me to simplify everything, and if endowments should be able to be minor investors, or maybe a big investor, and the social sphere would be better in our country and would be included into benefited social spheres, and with this money you can foster the development of the social sphere in the country, and of course this would be good for any society, and any shareholder should be there and can contribute to the social development of the Republic of Kazakhstan. And the question to Serikjan, as I asked the former colleagues, please, can you share your vision for the future? Can you please give us some advanced technologies for the future? And maybe you also explain about ESG. I do not see a lot of ESG instruments on our markets, but can you please elaborate on this more? I would like to start with some data, with statistics. Instagram has reached 100,000 subscribers in 2.5 years, and ChatGPT was very quickly on that. And so the influence of the artificial intelligence was very big. 7.3 billion of dollars should be a contribution of the artificial intelligence, and this will be influenced by on every markets, and we are studying this very carefully to see what kind of future developments could be in this sphere, and as we saw it for the future, it could be a lot of work with the documents and with some other data. This could be optimized, and this can be done by the artificial intelligence, and the gain of the time could be up to 80%, and our people could do more other things like fundamental analysis of our investments. As we are working together with the national payment corporations, we are working with them to develop an assistant of the investment decisions. It is like a function of scoring and screening of hedge funds, and also generating of some reports on the hedge funds, and it is still in development. We do not have still some results on this, but we need to work even further in these directions. And as we know, our portfolio is private, and we work with global managers, and they include global big players, as you know them, like companies Vista, Inside Partners, Silver Lake, and so others. And we see from their shares that they have a lot of exposure on artificial intelligence, and actually this is a throughput technology, and which is used in different sectors of the economy. And we saw a lot of trades of them on biotechnology, robotics, and improvement of business processes, diagnosis of cardiovascular diseases, and so on. And as we saw also example of artificial intelligence in NVIDIA and AI, OpenAI, and so others players, we see also a new smaller players which are invested by the venture investors in 2024. 10 biggest markets, 10 biggest trades on the venture investments. 8 of them were artificial intelligence trades or shares, and we need to continue to work on this, to elaborate on this. I think we need to include them into our normal business practice. As to you said, ESG, it is a very popular investment at the moment, and more than 50% of portfolio managers are including this into their politics. And then first it is structured funds, and all others are there. But at the moment it is not standardized. It is not a lot of IT solutions which are possible to include. But normally, also the investors are asking for this kind of ESG funds. Also, the Norway national funds, they would not invest into the companies who are not within the ESG agenda. And we see that ESG funds actually competing with other funds which are not following ESG. But why it is like this? Normally it is for the optimization of all others expenditures, like for water, energy, and so on. In our former Soviet Union countries, it is probably not that contemporary, but actually at all other parts of the world it is very contemporary, and I think this should be developed also at our side, and we need to see this kind of solutions in the future at our country, Thank you very much, dear colleagues. We would like to conclude, as we are actually over our time, but I would like to thank you very much in the name of the Association of Financial Organizations of Kazakhstan, and thank you very much, dear speakers at our sessions. I would like to wish you a lot of luck, success, health, and prosperity to our families in 1 year. Please, maybe in this room and in the other halls, we would like to meet you again. Thank you very much. Let's see you in 1 year. Thank you very much, Dauren, for your proper moderation.